show the national anthem? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's game between your St. Johns Redskins and the Wildcats of Joe City. We're doing what every American should do at a basketball game. Take your hat off, stand up, put your hand over your heart for the national anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the most beautiful song in the world. God bless America, the greatest country in the history of humankind. And we're happy to be here tonight at the St. Johns Auditorium, the Verl Heap Gymnasium. This game is between the St. Johns Redskins and the Joseph City Wildcats. Starting tonight for the Redskins, number 22, Kel Stewart. He is a 6'3" junior. Number 20, Big Brady Overson. He's a 6'4" senior. Of course, the Matrix, Preston Wilson tonight. Everybody's got masks on with the pandemic. And number 2, Justice Burt. And that is rounded out. Your starters right there is Joseph Bushman. That's the 5 for the Redskins. We'll get to the Wildcats in a minute. That ball is going to be taken by number 21. That's going to be Mr. John Stunn. Joe City looking to start quick tonight. They're whipping it around. That's almost a nice steal right there by Justice Burt. We're going to get a break in the action here in a second. Want to introduce my co-host tonight. That ball is going to be called backcourt, and Preston Wilson's just going to pick it up and go with it and score. So St. John's puts the first 2 points on the board tonight as Joe City brings the ball back down the court. He's thinking about shooting. He gets it over to himself, and that's another nice steal almost by Kel Stewart right there. The Matrix out front. Got a mask on. He's getting ready to operate tonight. And that's almost a rebound there. Number 22 gets the ball, kicks it back up top, and again, you're going to get called with a backcourt on us. So Redskins get, we got a break in the action. I want to introduce my co-pilot tonight, the man flying with me on this big space shuttle that Victor Chavez is engineered and put together, and that's Mr. Dayton Waite. Dayton Waite, thanks for being here tonight. I know I called you and just gave you a little bit of notice, but thanks for coming and announcing this game with me tonight.
It's no problem. It's good to be back here in St. John's. As I graduated in 2014, I played a lot of basketball for the Redskins, and I'm proud to be back here and watching the boys play again.
Well, we had for the girls' game, we actually had Chantel Perry, who is a junior that played for the Lady Redskins for 2 years. She was up here, and so it's good to have an alumni back as well tonight. So awesome to have current and former players with us announcing these ball games, giving us some good insight. So as the Redskins get started, and that ball goes into number 20, Big Brady Overson. He gets it back out to Joseph Bushman, who drives up underneath, gets it back to the Matrix. We're going to have some exciting basketball here tonight. And the Matrix just decides to take a shot. Going to get a foul coming off the top. And we're going to get into talking about these players, talking about the coaches, talking about this season. It's a very interesting season, as you know, with this COVID pandemic. I want to get to the referees as well. They've come a long way. As you see everybody with masks on. If you're watching this 10, 20 years from now, the reason everybody had masks on is, I'm sure as you probably know, there is a pandemic right now, a global pandemic. COVID-19 is the name of the virus, and so everyone's trying to be careful and safe. We've had a lot of people sick. Unfortunately, quite a few have passed away, and so these players are taking it serious. We appreciate the opportunity to have them play, and I want to thank our refs tonight, who are Mr. Ted Watson, Terry Jones, and Jared Totticini. Those three gentlemen are making this happen tonight. So, gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for calling this game and for officiating as we get started. Joseph Bushman's going to take the ball out with the Redskins up 4-2 with 6:22 to go here in the first period as we get it started. Mr. 22, Kel Stewart, looking forward to talking about him tonight. A great athlete. He moved here into town with the Redskins. Nice pass by Kel Stewart to Brady Overson, who misses just off the front of the rim. So as we get ready tonight, St. John's has got a really good-looking team. Dayton, what are you seeing so far?
Seems like St. John's is coming out in some kind of a 2-3 zone, maybe a 2-1-2. It seems to be working really well. Joe City's actually doing a pretty good job at throwing that ball around and getting some good inside looks. Unfortunately, the ball hasn't fallen. There's a great pass by Brady as I got to cut down the middle. Seems like St. John's is in some kind of a flex offense that seems to be working for them too.
So big Brady Overson. Oh, and the Matrix with the first steal of the night. Don't feel bad when he picks your pocket. Don't feel bad. Everybody loses a dollar bill or two to the Matrix as he gets his first steal, gets the basket. St. John's goes up 8-2. The Redskins leading by 6 points. Let me talk about the Matrix real quick while we've got a timeout. You may not know this. Preston Wilson is the Matrix. That's his nickname. He is a All-State player. He was on the first team All-State. He was also the Defensive Player of the Year for this division. For the entire state, he was the Defensive Player of the Year. Big deal, big honors, huge congratulations to him. He worked his rear end off last year. He led the state in steals. He was like fourth in the nation in steals. He had almost 200 steals last year. So like I said, don't feel bad when that kid picks your pocket. He's a professional. He's got the doctor's mask on. Looks like he's getting ready to operate on some more wallets tonight. So the Matrix, number 24, looking to have a wonderful season. Big Brady Overson comes out, plays some defense there. Number 12 is trying to score there for Joe City. That is a nice move right there. That's Lamsa. He's a 5'11 junior for the Wildcats. Kel Stewart with a nice shot right there off the limb, just a little bit short. And big Brady Overson hustles out. You see how quick Brady Overson is as he hustles out to get that rebound.
That's the hardest shot in basketball right there. If you can hit it, it's deadly.
Isn't it, though? There's no reference on it.
It really is not.
You're just kind of shooting into space, trying to get over the front of that rim. Joe City loses the ball, turns it over, 8-4 with 4:55 to go here in the first period as St. John's is looking good. Talked to Coach Rusty Oaks about this team and what he's seen in this team so far, and he said this team is working super hard. They're really putting in the time and effort to get better. They've been in the weight room. They've been working on flex exercises, cardio exercises, and they've really been doing a good job. And look at number 2 right there. Justice Burt, he gets a steal. And that's that shot you're talking about. And big Brady Overson with a spin from the inside. He's got the mask on, puts it down for his 2 points.
I always appreciate a team coming out in the full court press to start it off with to really set the tone.
Right, you got to know your team's got some cardio if you're going to do that, right?
I absolutely love when teams run the floor too. There's so many point opportunities there to be taken that I feel like are missed all the time. When you come out and your big man can run the floor as Brady Overson can, you really open up the scoring opportunities for everybody.
Yeah, you got big Brady Overson and you've got Kel Stewart down there, big athletic, quick, physical guys right there, and they're doing a good job out there tonight. So St. John's is up by 8 points, as you can see. Dayton, what are you seeing so far that you think St. John's is doing well?
Like I said, I really appreciate a good full court press. Seems like they got their hands in the air. You know what's great, I think, is a super underestimated or overlooked basic of basketball is the closeouts of really chopping down your feet and getting out to your defenders so you don't overrun them. And St. John's seem to be doing a really good job at that, keeping them in front of them, cutting off those lanes, and more importantly, when there's penetration in the lane or inside of the going toward the rim, they're collapsing and they're really making sure that they put 2 to 3 guys on them to make sure we stop that penetration.
And that's what's going to keep them out of the paint tonight, because as you look at Joe City's lineup, they've got a bunch of guys that are tall. They've got a guy that's 6'7", they got another player that's 6'4", so they've got some height on their team. So far, let me give you a scoring recap, and thank you to Chantel Perry for getting these stats for us. Brady Overson has 4 points, Kel Stewart has 2, and Preston Wilson, the Matrix, has 6 points tonight. We only have 1 foul for the Redskins. That's on Brady Overson. And then Joe City, of course, has scored their 4 points, 2 of them coming from Carter Lamsa and 2 from Jay Edwards. The only fouls tonight for Joe City is on number 12, Carter Lamsa, and then, of course, number 22, Tyler Penrod. So that's the lead where we're at right now. That's the scores. That's the fouls. We're almost halfway through this first period. What does St. John's need to do better that you're seeing tonight? What do they need to improve on here in just this first 4 minutes?
The first 4 minutes, I don't know. I think they've done a really good job. One thing I'd like to see that I always like to see is offensive rebounding, but they've actually done a pretty good job at that.
Look at the no-look pass from the Matrix. He doesn't need eyes. He just feels it. He knows it. And Big Brady goes in right there with that nice shot off there. I mean, Big Brady Overson. That's what I call him, Big Brady Overson. He just does a good job. He's just a big, tall, long, athletic, physical player. He's got nice touch around the basket. Let me brag on him here for a second. He was actually on the first-team All-State team. That's the first time St. John's has had 2 All-State players come back. We've had a lot of All-State players over the year, but we've never had 2 of them come back onto the same team. So big expectations for the St. John's Redskins this season. You got Brady Overson, first-team All-State. You got the Matrix. Preston Wilson, first-team All-State, and they're both back this year. And there's Big Brady Overson underneath, and the Matrix cleans it up because he saw where it was going to go last night while he was dreaming. And Kel Stewart with a beautiful move right there. Super athletic, great touch there by Kel Stewart. I like his movement. I like the way he plays the ball. Good physical, very smart, coordinated player. Excited to see him play this year for the Redskins. And there's our man Burt right there. Justice Burt, the 5'10 junior, gets the rebound, kicks it out to Bushman, who tries to penetrate, gets it to the Matrix. The Matrix saw it a minute ago. Into Bushman, who drives on the 6'7", and that ball he's going to be called for a foul, isn't he?
I think that was number 4.
Is that
it on the underside and kind of grabbed his arm?
Grabbed his arm, huh?
They gave it to 20. No, they gave it to
20. So they gave it to number 20. That's Avery Buckley. He's the 6'2 senior.
Oh, number 23. Yeah, so 23 reached in and grabbed the arm as he was going up.
So the correction is not on number 20. It is on 23. That's Bryce Bushman. Bryce Bushman gets called for the foul. He's a 6'1 sophomore right there. And it looks like we may have some blood from Joseph Bushman. It is out there on the floor on the foul line, so we're going to have a little breather while we get this cleaned up. There's a kit. They're going to get a kit and some disinfectant and whatnot. So that's going to give us a chance to talk here for a minute about the coaches, about the program, and what we've seen these last couple of years and what we're looking for going into this season. Let me give you a quick rundown. You see Coach Stephen Palmer. I believe that's him coming out onto the court. And then, of course, Coach Rusty Oaks. This is Coach Rusty Oaks' third year coaching here for the St. John's Redskins. He is an alumni, born and raised here, graduated from St. John's. He's a great Redskin himself, had a great athletic career in track and baseball, a lot of sports. So we're super happy to have him back. But let me give you his record in the 3 years that Coach Oaks has been coaching. He started out, he came into the program, and the program was on a bit of a downslide. And his first year, he went 15-15. He was 500. 15-15, and then his second year was last year, and they had a great year. They finished 23-7, and they really had a great year. They improved dramatically, and so what happened is he actually sent 2 of his players were all-state players. Like I said, those first-team all-state players, and he's brought them back this year. Of course, that's Brady and the Matrix, Preston, Wilson. And so what we've got is a good core of players. Now, they went and played a really tough game in Sholo this week, and they did really well. They won against Sholo. They had a really good game. Let me give you some stats from the Sholo game in case you weren't there, or we didn't broadcast it because it was an away game. But they really had a nice game. It was 51-48, if I remember right. St. John's actually shot from the floor. They shot 39%. Sholo shot 29%. So that was the difference in the game, is St. John's was able to shoot those percentages, and they had a really good game. Sholo's are actually a really good team. They got a lot of big physical players. They got about 800 kids in their student body, and they did a great job there. And I apologize if you can't hear me. We got Metallica going in the background. One of the great American bands. And I don't know if I'm deaf or if everyone in here is deaf, but it is cranked as loud as I've ever heard the music in this gym, ever.
You see some of the fans actually plugging their ears.
Yeah, people are plugging their ears. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's out there running the sound machine, but it is phenomenally loud. I feel like I'm at a Metallica concert.
We got the cheerleaders going.
Yeah, the cheerleaders are getting it done out there.
Right.
They're really doing it. But anyways, I hope you can hear me because I want to brag on this team for a minute. They did a great job against Sholo. They did a wonderful. Let me give you some totals from that game, just so I kind of run it down for you here real quick. In that game, Preston Wilson had 5 points. Big Brady Overson had 20 points. Kel Stewart, glad to see him here for the St. Johns Redskins. Kel Stewart, he had 12 points in the game. And then, of course, Justice Burt had a big game. The junior, Justice Burt, had 8 points in that game. And Preston Wilson actually scored all of his points from the foul line. He shot 5 for 6 from the foul line. That's 83% if you're doing a quick math, and did a great job on that. Now, normally we don't talk about steals, but Preston Wilson actually had 6 steals during that game. So he's back on track to probably lead the state again in steals. He had one here, as you saw earlier tonight. Nice layup off the steal. So looking for a lot of steals tonight from Preston Wilson. Now, both Big Brady Overson and Preston Wilson did not come out of the game against Sholo. So Coach Rusty Oaks kept both of those players in there the entire time. I talked to Coach Oaks before the game started, and I said, hey, what did you do to get these boys in shape? And he said, these boys just run their hearts out. He said, I don't have to motivate them. I don't have to ask them. They just play as hard as they can. He said they're in phenomenal shape cardiovascular-wise. They ran the entire game against Sholo. And Dayton, that's just what you were talking about here today, as we've seen in the first 5 minutes of this game. They're going to run all night long. And Coach Oaks says he generally doesn't go more than about 7 players deep, maybe 8 players deep. So he expects his starting 5 and those first couple guys off the bench, he expects them to play the entire game and run their rear ends off. So we're going to see how that holds up during the season. Something I want to ask you about, Dayton, as a former player here for the Redskins, as an all-state player, all the awards you received over the years, what would it be like to be wearing a mask down there tonight? How would that affect your game?
I think that would affect you dramatically. It's just harder to breathe. You know, the first couple minutes of a basketball game is the hardest. Your heart rate's trying to come up, your blood's trying to get pumping, you're trying to get oxygen into your blood, and then you're trying to breathe through a straw, basically, what it feels like. I think that would dramatically affect. But you know what? These boys seem like they've been running hard. A lot of them just came off of football. They're in shape, and I'm sure that they're pretty much used to it now at this point. It seems to be doing well for the Redskins right now. As you said, they played a really good game against Sholo, who is always consistently tough, who's an opponent that St. Johns has always struggled against in the years, and they handle them pretty well. So we'll see how it plays out tonight, but it seems like so far they're still ready to go. This good little 5-minute break will be good for them too.
Right, you play 5 minutes and you get a 5-minute break.
That'd be nice.
You know, just so you know, no one's hurt bad. We had a bloody nose, it looked like, and then it looked like there was also possibly a cut hand. So that's where we're at right now. I don't want you to think somebody got hurt bad or anything like that. We had a bloody nose, a cut hand. They're taking it super serious because, of course, it's blood, but also because of COVID. So you've got 6-7 different school officials out here taking care and getting the blood off. While we're talking about school officials, I mentioned this during the girls' game, but I just want to say what a great job the administration and the teachers have done here at St. Johns High School. You got our superintendent, Mr. Ed Burgoyne, and our principal, Mr. Heap, and then, of course, our vice principal and athletic director, David Bradshaw. I think they've done a masterful job of orchestrating the school, keeping in regulations with COVID, keeping kids coming to class, playing sports, being smart about what they've done. So our hat is off to them. They've done a fantastic job with St. John's this year and last year during this whole COVID pandemic. So we're going to get the game started again. Just to recap, it's 15-4. St. John's is ahead. There's 3 minutes to go in the first period, and Joseph Bushman has gone to the line. He's going to go ahead and shoot two. You can see his finger. His index finger is actually taped up, his right index finger. That was where part of that blood was coming from. So he hits that shot, 16-4, and Joe City bringing it down the court. And Big Brady.
And that's what I'm talking about. Getting your hands up in the passing zones. Any kind of tip ball either turns into a turnover or turns into a play that you're able to capitalize off of by messing up the other team's playing.
And that's a big deal because that gives you the ball anywhere from 5 to 15 more times a game, and that can be the difference in the game, those turnovers. As Kel Stewart gets the ball, number 22 bringing it up. It's a 3-on-3. Kel Stewart with a beautiful pass to the Matrix.
Great pass.
The Matrix, he saw it last night, goes in left-handed. Kel Stewart with a beautifully amazing pass. The Matrix off the steal, kicks it up. Back over to number 21. It almost goes in. That's Parker Humphreys. He's a 6'1 senior. He tries to get a shot off. It gets blocked, so Parker Humphreys going to take the ball out of bounds. Looks like the Redskins are going to run a box right here. Kel Stewart gets it. Goes, with a double pump over the top. Big Brady Overson.
Just getting inside.
Just does good positioning right there. Gets that rebound coming off top. Kel Stewart did a double pump because he had that 6'7 player right in his face, so Brady Overson's going to get 2 shots. St. John's up by 14. And we got 2:23 to go here in the first period. Joe City does have some big players down there.
They really do, and you watch them, you can see that their basketball IQ is there. Sometimes their passes are a little bit too late, a little behind, but as the coach said, the coach for Joe City talked earlier to us today, and they said that the team is just young but talented, and you're seeing that right now, the youngness come out, but they'll get it together in the season, I'm sure, as the season goes on.
Nice shot there by Justice Burt, the 5'10 junior for the Redskins. Justice Burt, great shot, running down the lane. They are a young team. He did indicate that, and he's trying to get them to gel, feel for each other, get that play. The more you play with somebody, then you know what they're going to do, and it gets to the point where you can just read what they're going to do, and they know what you're going to do. So the Matrix almost gets another steal, but they call him for a foul. I'm going to have to go with it because these are great officials. They've been doing it forever. It looked like a clean steal, but the Matrix gets called for a foul. So Preston Wilson, number 12 for the Redskins, a Matrix, and he does have 24. We don't have it on the board yet, but we'll get it up here on the board from it. There you go. They got the board right now. 1 foul for Preston Wilson, the Matrix. He's out on top. What do you think about the defense that St. John's is running here so far against the Wildcats? What are you seeing?
I think the 2-3 zone is a very effective if you got a group of guys that can really run it and get their hands to the pass like that. As a steal from Kel Merrill, he's going down.
Look at
nice
Kel
Stewart. Defense rolling around, goes in.
Oh, number 22, big Kel Stewart with the nice vertical, quick hands. Beautiful, split the defense, laid it right in. That's a super athletic play. There's another one. Look at Kel Stewart out there hustling his butt off. His team is up by 18 points, and Kel Stewart's out there diving on the floor, slapping the ball. That's why I was excited to see this kid play basketball this year. Just a great athlete. And not only is he a great athlete, he has a great attitude, and he's got a great heart, and he hustles his rear end off. So super excited to have him as part of the Redskins this year. Big welcome to Kel Stewart, number 22.
Three-pointer.
Nice shot over the top. Just comes up a little bit on the right side. Justice Burt with the rebound. The 5'10 junior brings it down, kicks it under the big Brady Overson. Back out to Kel Stewart, who fakes the shot. Back to Justice. That's 3 points. Just in and out, and of course.
Great hustle by Brady Overson.
Big Brady Overson.
He's always under the basket.
He's just always right where he needs to be.
Exactly.
He just always seems to be right in that spot. Gets himself another rebound.
Great pass. Great following your shot.
That was a good job by number 34 from the Wildcats there. That's Jay Edwards. He is a 6'7 senior, and he's a big 6'7 senior.
He really is a big 6'7 senior.
That is a big athlete down there. Nice follow-through on his shot, and he almost got the basket. Into the game for the Wildcats is number 30. That's Travis Wilson. He is a 5'10 senior, so good to see him on the floor. So St. John's is going to reset. Under a minute to go here in the first period, about 50 seconds. And number 21 is in the game for the Redskins. That's Parker Humphreys. He is a 6'2 senior. And big Brady Overson over the top, but the 6'7 Wildcat doesn't quite get the tip. And we're going to see which way this goes. So if you look up there on the board, you'll notice St. John's only has 2 fouls. Joe City has 5. It is a clean game. Parker Humphreys brings in to big Brady Overson over the top of the 6'7 Wildcat. And Brady Overson just getting his points, getting it done, getting the rebounds, scooping up the boards, putting it through the nylon. Oh, almost a nice steal there by Justice Burton. He does get the ball. He's looking for the Matrix. The Matrix takes it underneath with a pass to Brady Overson. Big Brady Overson with 2 more from the Matrix.
You know, if you're a young center watching this basketball game and you want to be a center when you grow up in the high school basketball, you got to watch Brady Overson run the court. Watch him as he runs. He's going to get down in position, get himself for an offensive rebound, and get a putback just like that.
And there he is again. Brady Overson with 8 points in the last minute of the first period, just scooping stuff up. It's like he's got a snow shovel out there. Great job. Great job there with the Matrix feeding. Brady Overson scoring, getting rebounds. Justice Burt with good steals. Kel Stewart hustling, working his butt off out there. And it looks like, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it looks like St. Johns is going to win this game quite handily.
Yeah, it does appear so. Don't get me wrong, I've seen greater comeback, and I've seen, like my Coach Nybar used to tell me when I was going to school here, it was basketball is a game of runs, and as long as you can survive the runs of other teams, you can survive and win. But when you have good teams, they're able to make runs. And like I said, this team right here is very young, and you see it. You see the passing sometimes not there. You see them picking up their dribbles. They're not supposed to be picking them up. They're backing themselves in the corner. They're panicking under these situations. But if this coach looks like he knows what he's doing, it looks like he has a connection with these boys, and he can really get these boys to play for him.
You know, I think this is his 6th year as a coach, if I remember right. I know he's doing a great job with these boys. Like we said, it's just a younger team for Joe City, but when you've got 2 returning all-state first-team players, man, that just makes it tough. Oh, he's been here for 14 years.
He's been coaching boys basketball for 14 years.
For 14 years, okay. So there you go. And let me give you the coach's name if we didn't. I apologize if we didn't give you the coach's name earlier. The head coach for the Wildcats is Coach Eric Miller, and his assistant coach is Sean Layden. And like you said, you can tell their players have good basketball IQ. They're coached well. They've just run into a team that's got 2 returning first-team all-state players on it. Really good kids, really athletic kids. They picked up Kel Stewart in the offseason. You can see him right there. He's just phenomenally athletic. There's 4 guys trying to take the ball away from him, and Kel Stewart is almost keeping it where and he just got the ball back. He's going to kick it in right here. Almost got tripped. I'm glad he didn't get tripped right there by number 20 for the Wildcats. And there we go. He's going to call a blocking foul there on number 21. That is Parker Humphreys.
It's a great effort, but you got to get there just a little bit faster and get your ground established, or you'll never get that call.
All right, so he almost got there, half-second short. Number 12 for the Wildcats is going to the line. That is Carter Lamsa. He's a 5'11 junior. Going to the line. He's going to get his shots right here. On the floor right now for the Redskins, number 11. That's Braden Wall. We just call him Springs. Number 11, Springs, is out there. Of course, you got big Brady Overson. Kel Stewart. Kel Stewart he's doing a masterful job out there. And then, of course, you got the Matrix on the floor along with Parker Humphreys. So St. John's still got these good players in. They're looking to score. The Matrix splits it, goes up over 5. Kel Stewart with the shot, kicks it to Brady Overson.
Great ball movement by the Redskins right here.
Isn't that nice?
And great up and under move.
I thought he was going to get called for the foul, but they didn't give it to him. I like to see the Matrix shoot. We've got to see the Matrix shoot a lot more. He didn't shoot much a couple days ago in Sholo. The Matrix only shot from the free throw line. He never actually took a field goal shot, so hoping to see him shoot a little more, bring that defense out. He's an excellent shot. Like to see him get 10 to 14 points a game just to keep things rolling where it's at. Nice shot there by number 12 from the Wildcats, Carter Lamsa. The 5'11 junior, he's a guard, puts it in. So Joe City, 8. The Redskins, 28. A little 20-point difference here as Kel Stewart gets the ball, looks over to number 11, Springs, kicks it in.
Go up at that.
Big Brady Overson with the call, the follow-through. The hammer gets hit on the arm and goes to the line. Like you said earlier, Dayton, if you want to know how to play center, if you're a young kid out there, just watch Brady Overson. He's got great footwork. He knows where he's supposed to be. He's always around the ball. He gets the angles coming off the shot, the rim, the backboard. You can just kind of see where it's supposed to go.
Exactly, and that just comes from playing outside with your older brothers and getting beat up.
And the officials are reminding Kel Stewart to keep his mask on. His mask got down a little bit, so he was trying to get a little breather there at the line while his buddy was shooting, while Big Brady was shooting those free throws. But they told him, put your mask back on, son. So he's probably having a hard time breathing out there. And I was expect here in a minute we may see Coach Oakes substitute. Oh, wow, Big Brady Overson with the block. Springs gets the ball, brings it back up, gets it blocked, stolen back. So Springs comes back as Joe City drives Kel Stewart with the steal, and I think we're going to get a blocking foul on Springs. That's Braden Wall, if you want to know his real name. He's a 6'1 sophomore. We just call him Springs because of his vertical jump. You're welcome to call him that, too, if you see him around the community. So on the floor right now, Kel Stewart, Brady Overson, Parker Humphreys, the Matrix is there as well, and Springs out there with that big American flag mask on. It's a nice inbounds pass right there off the glass by number 20 from Joe City. That's Avery Buckley, the 6'2 senior. The Matrix is looking, goes up all the way, gets fouled on the drive. I think he thought Brady was coming in behind him with a little dish off the deal, but he's going to get a shoot too. So as he goes to the line, there's 6 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in this second period. I think you're going to see we may get Justice Burt and Joseph Bushman back in the game here in a second. Number 22 comes in for the Wildcats. That's Tyler Penrod. He's the 6'2 junior.
Is that correct? Number 12 for Joe City already has 4 fouls?
He has 4 fouls. You know,
Wow.
It's just been rough down there underneath. And he's been called for 4. They took him out. That's tough to see when he runs out of the game like that because they're relying on him a lot. But that's Carter Lamsley. He's that 5'11 junior. He's had some good shots, played some really good defense, and just unfortunately got called for a couple fouls. The Matrix a little bit long, and look who almost got the rebound. Big Brady Overson. There's a steal by Springs back to the Matrix. Springs to Matrix looking for Big Brady Overson. There's that pass from the Matrix. And Big Brady Overson up underneath from the pass. The Matrix on a piece of lightning gets it to Big Brady Overson. Number 20 almost gets it in there for Joe City. And, of course, Brady Overson gets another rebound. The beautiful pass. And Springs is going to get called for travel. Just kind of slid that foot in there and picked it up at the end, huh?
Yeah, he just tried to do a pump fake, but instead of going to a jump shot and pump faking, he tried to take that first initial step, which results in a travel.
So coach him through it. He's actually a sophomore. He's got great talent. We call him Springs because his vertical is so good, but he just got to be a little more in the Matrix with another steal. The no-look pass to Springs, and Springs gets it in on another chance. We're going to get a timeout here as St. Johns goes up by 25 points, 35-10 over the Joe City Wildcats with 5:41 to go here in this second period. So, Coach Dayton Wade, get us through this. What does Joe City need to be doing better?
You know, Joe City, they're having a hard time with this full court pressure. That's a great observation by Coach Rusty Oaks to be able to continue to keep that pressure up there. Also, St. John's is cheating a guy up here in between the 3-point line, top of the 3-point line and the half-court line, and they're catching any kind of over or across the court pass. So what Joe City's got to do is they've got to play defense down here and get some stops, because that's the only way you can stop a full court press and not let it get set up and be able to result in some maybe fast breaks for Joe City. They got to play some good defense down here. And then they've got to learn that passing early sometimes isn't the best, and they have a guy extended.
Yes. Like you said with Coach Oaks, he's got the greatest still artist possibly in the last forever we've seen. I mean, the Matrix is incredible. He just puts a Matrix out there front, like you said, and he just steals the ball.
Exactly. So they're playing extended up here.
So they get underneath to the big 6'7", number 34, just with a miss, and Kel Stewart with a beautiful
and they have
pass.
Cherry pickers. St. John's doing a really good job at cherry picking.
And he travels.
Again. You got to take that one.
Travels one more time. Springs is going to get better. Number 11, Braden Wall. He's a 6'2 sophomore. He'll get those steps down. He'll get a little better. You're taking passes from a phenomenal quarterback. Kel Stewart, as you may know, plays quarterback for the St. John's Redskins, has a wonderful arm, and he hits the Springs in stride. Kel Stewart with another pass to the Spring. Springs goes up, gets blocked right there. Springs is learning. He's doing good. He'll get it down underneath, though. He'll get a lot better as he goes. But Kel Stewart with some beautiful, beautiful passes. It looks like he's got a football helmet on again, just throwing those nice passes up court. So they set up. Kel Stewart gets it to Springs again. And Braden Wall just off the front, and of course, Big Brady Overson ties up number 34 for Joe City, and that's Jay Edwards and Brady Overson tying up. Arrow goes to Joe City. So the Redskins come down, they reload. Like you said, the Matrix is just kind of playing out there.
You see how they're forcing this guy right here to the corner? They're forcing him to make a long pass, and that's where they're doing the pickoffs like that.
And that's where the Matrix and Kel Stewart are doing such a great job of picking up. Now, Joe City did a good job right there of going in the corner, keeping it to the middle. Nice pass underneath because they had the numbers.
And if you pay attention on that last drive, they never dribbled. They
never
got here. He picked up his dribble. He passed, and then they got an easy layup. And that's what Joe City's got to learn to do.
Springs goes up again. Springs is learning the hard way what it's like to go up underneath as a sophomore with these big Joe City players, but he's doing a great job. He's not giving up. He's been on the floor the last 4 out of 5 plays. He's got the ball, but he's jumping back up. He's hustling. He's working hard, and he's realizing as a sophomore, man, this varsity basketball is it's a tough number, but he's doing a fantastic job. Super proud of Braden Wall, the 6'2 sophomore and how he's working out there, earning his stripes. He's playing with some phenomenal athletes. I mean, you look on that floor, you got Joseph Bushman. Nobody hustles harder than Joseph Bushman. You got Kel Stewart, just a super athlete out there with him. Brady Overson's a great athlete, knows where to be all the time. And then, of course, the Matrix. He saw this game in his sleep last night. He knows how it's going to end. So that's who you got Springs playing with, and he's playing around some great athletes. And so it's exciting to see him mature and grow as an athlete while he plays around these older athletes. The Matrix almost gets another steal. And like you said, they're trying to force that ball to the corner.
I appreciate the good, hard effort there to the basketball, but once you lower that to the rim, but once you lower that shoulder and start to kind of dig into the defending player, they're going to call you.
They're going to call you on it, aren't they? You start extending that arm, you drop that shoulder, you drop that head, you're going to get called, and that's a great job by number 5, Afton Cox. He's a 6-foot junior out there. Afton Cox is a great football player for the Redskins as well, so it's awesome to see him on the court. Comes in, draws a beautiful foul. Let's see if Springs can hit
great
that. You'd like to see him go into that player and shoot the ball when he's up in the air that high and get those 3 foul shots. So it's 36-12. 4 minutes to go here in the second period. Joe City's already in bonus and almost in double bonus on fouls when they get one more. So they've got to go a little bit hard. Oh, it's a great pass by the Matrix. Half the time you feel bad for the players. They're not even expecting a pass like that when they get it. Afton Cox, nice shot right there in the lane. Number 5, big Afton Cox, the 6-foot junior, puts his first bucket down. Came in and drew an offensive foul as well, playing great defense. Gets a steal right here. Oh, and he's going to draw a foul as well. Man, Afton Cox is doing a good job. And you can see Joe City's getting frustrated, right? You can see number 23's frustrated, jumps on the back of Afton Cox, and just – that is frustrating. You're down by, 26 points. It's not even halftime yet. And credit to Joe City. I think they're doing a really good job. They're keeping their head up. They're trying hard. They've just run into a team in St. Johns who's just got some phenomenal athletes on the court. They've got great coaching. You've got Stacy Waite down there, a former alt. Look at that pass by the Matrix. The Matrix to big Brady Overson on the left side. It's just, it looks beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing right now. All cylinders are firing. Back to the coaches real quick. You got Stacy Waite, a former All-State player for the Redskins. You got Stephen Palmer, an All-State player, used to play down at Thatcher for the Eagles down there. He's a phenomenal player. And then, of course, you've got Rusty Oaks, a great athlete during his high school career. And those 3 coaches have done a phenomenal job getting these big athletes ready to play.
I'm not sure of the call on that one. I didn't really see what he was looking at.
I didn't either. Is he saying he had a blocking foul?
Maybe like an illegal screen, maybe.
Is that what he's calling on him?
Foul. Looks maybe something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the call was, but it's going to Joe City now.
You know, here's the thing. If I'm officiating a game, just to look at the human aspect of it, you look up on the board, St. Johns has 3 fouls, Joe City has 9, and St. Johns is up almost 30 points. I'm going to call a few more fouls on St. Johns.
Normally.
So
that's great running the court right there.
Really did a good job with that. It was a nice pass up there too. Way to put it off the glass. Springs on the outside with some fancy dribbling. Gets it over to Afton Cox underneath the number 23 who's in the game. That's Hunter Jarvis, a 6'4 junior with a nice shot. And, of course, the Matrix gets the ball. Matrix with the ball. Scores again, 42-14. Watch out for another steal. And number 21, I thought he was going to take that off that edge. Let's see if 32 can hit. Little long. Afton Cox with a great rebound. Number 34 for the Wildcats is a 6'7", and Afton Cox at 6 feet gets the rebound. Beautiful. Nice pass there. Springs tries to get it in. There we go. Keep on it, Springs. Nice job. He keeps going to the hole. He's been knocked down. He's been pushed over. He's been fouled. And he keeps going to the hole with a nice move right there. Number 11, Braden Wall gets another steal. Here comes the 6'2", sophomore in. 4 points, 3 seconds, 2 steals. Good job there, Springs, number 11, with a nice move up under the basket. St. Johns is up right now by 32 points. I'm guessing Coach Rusty Oaks is going to start putting in some of his other players, letting those kids that have worked so hard start to get a little bit of court time here as we go down to 1:45 in the second period.
Looks like he's called out the dogs. He's called out the full court press, but he's still staying up in that half-court pressure.
Nice shot there by number 23.
Blocked.
Mr. Jarvis just gets it blocked, but you like to see him go to the hole and keep working hard underneath there.
Absolutely. Well, they're back in the full court pressure.
That is a tough thing to try to pass that ball around against the Matrix all the time. That's just got to get old quick. And there's the Matrix, causes a steal. Springs goes up. I thought Springs was going to try to dunk that right there. The Matrix just waited for him. Number 20. Oh, that's a nice shot with a salute to the crowd on the way back down. Number 20, Avery Buckley, the 6'3 senior from Joe City. Salutes. The Matrix takes it in. You can trip the Matrix. That's one way to stop them. You got to foul them if you're going to stop them. The problem is you send them to the line with 2 because there's 10 fouls on Joe City now, so I'm guessing they're going to give them 2 shots off the line. So the Matrix gets another chance to go 2 more off the line. You think they'd let them pull their mask down on that foul shot, huh?
Something. Give these guys a breather.
I know, man. You need to have maybe like every 4 minutes have a little 1 minute non-count timeout so people can just catch their breath or run a little oxygen hose up through that mask. So
you got to do something for these guys.
Of course, the Matrix puts it in. St. Johns is going to score 50 points or more in this first half. You can do the math. That would be over a 100-point game if they doubled it up next half. I'm sure Coach Oakes will kind of call it down a little bit and put some more folks up there. There's the Matrix. He may not get a credit for that steal, but he caused that steal.
He did get a hand on it. Got it tipped away.
Caused that steal right there. Springs with the ball. Springs looking for Cox. The Matrix takes it. The Matrix is always looking to pass. He's always looking to get that ball somewhere.
Which is a great attribute to have, but sometimes it can be detrimental to your team.
Oh, Joseph Bushman with the injured finger off the front of the rim. And the Matrix. And don't feel bad.
Oh, no.
Don't feel bad. Number 4, Jaron Miller, the 5'5 sophomore. Everybody has to leave $1 on the table when you play the Matrix. 24, Preston Wilson going back up, trying to get 2 more points for his team. Looks like St. John's could go up 52 points in one half, which is what they actually scored. This would be more than they scored against Sholo, if I remember correctly. So St. John's scored 51 points against Sholo. Looks like they could go up over that in this first half if the Matrix hits this right here. And I'm guessing that he will. So, Dayton, what would you do right now if you're St. John's looking ahead in this season? What are you trying to teach these guys? What do you want out of them? Because they're going to play some super tough teams in that state bracket.
They really are. So another great quote that was taught to me by my coach is a great shot by number 21, putting in a three-pointer. 21,
let's give him a shout-out. Bannon. It's Johnston. He's a 6'2 sophomore and has a beautiful shot there.
There you go. 2 more years for DeMelma. That kid could come out to be a great contribution to the Joe City team. But another great quote that was taught to me was never go to heaven on a win, never go to hell on a loss. And it just goes to prove that St. John's is probably going to come out victorious in this game, but it's important for them to keep their head, keep their focus on what the end goal is. We can't just let this one game dictate how we're going to play for the rest of the season.
I like that. So they played, St. John's is in the 2A conference, as you know, and they went over and played Sholo, who's in the 3A conference, as you know. A great game. They won by 3. Brady Overson had a phenomenal game. I think Brady Overson scored 20 points in the Sholo game. Kel Stewart had 12, and Justice Burt added 8. And then you had Springs or Braden Wall had 3. Big Brady Overson had a bunch of rebounds. I believe he had a double-double, if I remember correctly. Let me think here. Yeah, total rebounds of 13. So, of course, he had a double-double like he always does. Great contributor. And they beat Sholo. Then you come to Joe City, and Joe City we need to say that they are a 1A. They're in the 1A conference. They don't have as many players.
Yeah, they don't have the resource that St. John's has.
St. John's does. And then like we talked about earlier, and like I said, I don't know if you could hear us because the Metallica was going so loud. I thought we were literally at a Metallica concert. But that being said, Preston Wilson was a first-team All-State player, and he was the Defensive Player of the Year for the entire state. He led the state in steals. He had almost 200 steals last year, which is just phenomenal. He was 4th in the entire country in steals. So, of course, he's the Defensive Player of the Year, and he's on the first-team All-State, as was Brady Overson. Brady Overson had almost 20 double-doubles last season, if I remember right. Just a phenomenal all-around player. And like you were talking about, he did such a great job in that first half being everywhere where he was supposed to be. We're going to get you some numbers here in a second off of these players. But let me talk to you real quick about Preston Wilson. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. He's got 13 points. So Preston Wilson with 13 points in that first half. And then Big Brady Overson, like we talked about, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Brady Overson has scored 20 points in the first half. So you can see how well those two they're just first-team All-State players. They're returning. It's the first time St. Johns has ever had that, and as you know, St. Johns has a phenomenal history in basketball. One of the, in my opinion, the greatest coach that's ever coached basketball in the state of Arizona is Coach Verl Heap. I can make a case. I can sit here for an hour and tell you why that is, but I'll give you the short version. He coached back when there wasn't 6 divisions. He literally had to coach these kids from the same zip code. There was no recruiting. There was nothing going on. He went to the state championship 12 times, I think in 26 years or 27 years. So almost every other year he was in the state championship, and he won it 8 times. Just a phenomenal record. You can go back and do the numbers. You can look at what he accomplished, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. And they played in a conference where they were literally playing schools in Phoenix. They were playing big schools all around the state, the Flagstaffs, the Prescotts, all those type of schools, because there's only 3 divisions. And if you recall back then, St. Johns didn't even have 200 kids in the high school. And exactly. he would start those kids out when they were little tiny kids. He would get them a basketball, and those kids would just walk around all year dribbling a basketball.
And that's what's so important about the development stages of kids down there. I think Little League, sometimes we think it's just a cute way to play for little kids to play basketball, but that is such an important developing stage to implement the basics of basketball. Like you said, he only has 200 kids in the high school. You go down to the valley where back in the day, they probably still had 1,000 people in their high school. But it's just important to know that it's not always the talent that wins, but when you have a group of kids that wants to play for a coach and wants to be able to be willing to put their life on the line, so to speak, for this coach, great things can happen when you get kids that buy into a program. You can have state championships, you can have whatever you want, as long as you come together as a team and as one unit.
And that's what they did with Verl Heap. I mean, you talk to his players now, they absolutely loved him. They would play their hearts out for him. Well, let's shift to some statistics here. We've got 6 minutes and a little over 6 minutes till we're going to start this second half. I want to give you some follow-up stats. I know we talked about Brady Overson already scoring 20 points in this game at halftime. Kel Stewart has played a phenomenal game. He has 4 points, but he's made a lot more contributions than that. He's had great steals, great passes. He fed to Spring like crazy. Springs was getting 3 or 4 passes from him there in the second period. And then, of course, Preston Wilson, if our stats are right, looks like he's got at least 12 points in the game. And I think he's got 3 or 4 steals. I didn't keep track of those, so I apologize to the Matrix and his fans out there. Keanu Reeves is watching tonight. He's watching the Matrix. And he wants to know how many steals the Matrix is going to get. I'm going to predict 7. Now, for the Joseph City Wildcats, they really do have good athletes, like you said, and they got good basketball IQ. They're going to do really well in the 1A conference. But Carter Lamsa has 4 points, but he also has 4 fouls, which is unfortunate because he's been playing a great game. He's a good athlete, looks really good out there. But he's got those 4 fouls. And then Avery Buckley has 9 points for the Joseph City Wildcats. He also has a foul. And then Bannon Johnson has 3 points and a foul. So Jay Edwards rounds out the scoring for the Wildcats with 6 total points. Now, if you break it down by quarter, and a huge thank you to Chantel Perry for putting these stats together for us. If you break it down by quarter, Joe City had 4 points in that first quarter, and then they came out and put 18 points on in that second quarter, and that is a big difference in scoring right there. St. John's really held them in the first quarter. Going to the Redskins. They had 28 points in the first quarter, and then they had 24 points in the second quarter. So very consistent. So right now, Redskins are 52, Joe City's 22. It's a 30-point game, and that's your difference in quarters right there.
Yeah, I think it's important. I was trying to keep track here. I'm sure these aren't 100% perfect, but I know it's pretty close. St. John shot 52% from the field.
52%?
Over the first half. That's pretty impressive.
That's very impressive.
But the thing is they're getting all these inside looks because they're moving the ball around. They're breaking down the defense. They're able to get the penetration that they need. And the one important thing is they're not looking to shoot. They're looking to pass. They're looking to make that second pass. And they're able to get those open looks that they need. And I think that as long as they keep doing that throughout the season, they will be able to do really well.
You know, I want to go back to the coaches for a second because Coach Rusty Oaks came in here, and let's just be honest for a second. If you're watching this game, Coach Rusty Oaks came in here as a coach, took over a phenomenally amazing program with heritage, state championships, amazing coaches, amazing athletes. We could talk for an hour, debate the 100 greatest basketball players that come through St. John's, and there are 100 of them. Easy. I mean, there's so many good basketball players that have come through, all-state players, phenomenal college players, everything. That being said, the program was a little bit down when Coach Rusty Oaks took over. And everyone was kind of wondering, how's he going to do? What's his personality going to be like? He's a very, very loud personality. I love his personality, but he's very loud. He wants to coach well. He's very invested in what he does. He believes in these kids, and he came in, and that's all translated over to these players. And they went 23-7 last year, and the couple 3 or 4 games they lost were just very, very nail-biter losses. Very easily, they could have went 26-3, something like that. So he's come back, and you played for a very good coach in Coach Neibauer. What are you seeing in the 3 years that Coach Oaks has been here as these players play in front of you tonight?
As these players, I haven't been able to watch the St. Johns team the last couple of years. But what I'm seeing right now is these boys want to play for Rusty. It goes back to my earlier comments. That was what made my high school career so great, is I had a coach that I wanted to play for, and I think I can speak for the majority of my team. My junior and senior year, we had a coach that really bought into our program, invested in his players, and you're seeing that right now. These boys are willing to sacrifice maybe a shot that they want to take, because they know that in the long run, that little chip shot, a little 2-pointer is going to be able to progress the team forward. And you're starting to see, when you come into timeouts and you're up in these 30-point games, and these games are hard to stay motivated in, because it's not an intense game. Sometimes you can get lax, but every time there's a timeout, you see St. John's bench coming off, and they're excited. They're giving each other high fives, hugs, and everything else, and that's what's going to drive this team forward in the difficult games, in the tight games, the games you may lose by 1 or win by 1. That's what's going to be the difference, is how well your team as a whole comes together as a family.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you just said. You're seeing that on those timeouts. It's a big deal, and these, you can talk to these players. I see them around town. I talk to them quite a bit during the year, May not even be basketball season, but they love Coach Oaks. They want to play for him. He has hard practices. And real quickly, before we get the rest of this game started in the second half, Coach Waite, Stacy Waite, actually graduated with him. Never fun to guard him in practice. Nobody wants to guard him. He is a grinder. He is physical, knock you down, shoot over you. He's a tough guy, and he's super smart. And the reason I'm saying that about Coach Waite is that's what I see out of Brady Overson. I see a Stacy Waite type player, super tough, always knows where to be, great hands, always in position, soft hands, good shot, uses the glass, uses his body, boxes out. And something you don't, if you really don't watch it, you'll never realize it, but Brady Overson and the great centers, they have good footwork. Their feet are always in the right place, and that's what puts their body in the right place. So great footwork there.
And that's a shout-out to his older brother. I play with his older brother, Clayton, and I know that they took his brother out back sometimes and played basketball with him and beat him up a little bit, and that's what you see. You're starting to see the fruits of that now, as he's turning into a team leader. What is he, a senior this year?
Yeah.
He's a senior this year. He's turned into a great team leader. He's coming off a 20-point game. He's already got 20 points tonight, and he's going to continue to progress. And as long as he keeps that same mentality, running the court and doing what's best for the team, he will see great results coming out.
Yeah. First team All-State looks, he has every opportunity to be first team All-State again. So as they get ready to come out onto the floor, I want to see who starts with them. I want to see who they start with and what happens. So we've got a lot more basketball to play. I'm excited to see Joe City if they play against some of our bench players. I want to see that as well. It's really important to see our bench players get that type of time. So to start the second half, of course, you got the Matrix. The Matrix is out there on the floor. Number 24, Preston Wills. Number 15, Joseph Bushman. Number 2 is Justice Burt. Of course, number 20 is Big Brady Overson. And Kel Stewart, the phenomenal athlete, is
pass
on there. Man, that's good positioning by number 34 there for Joe City, Jay Edwards. He is a 6'7 senior, and he had good footwork on that play right there. Justice Burt tries to get that shot and doesn't quite get it, but Joseph Bushman out to the Matrix. And it's going to be back over to Justice Burt. He looks again for the shot off the foul line. A little bit short. Jay Edwards with the rebound. Kicks it over to number 12. That's Carter Lamsa. I do not want to see him foul out, so I hope he does not get another foul. And goodness gracious, number 21 from way downtown. Bannon Johnstrom, the 6'3 sophomore from Joe City, hits it. And so Joe City's up 27 now, looking to break the 30 mark. And I think we're going to get a bit of a timeout here.
So that's good. That's a great first minute of basketball by the Wildcats.
If you look at Coach Coach Rusty Oaks, he is fired up. He is so angry right now. They're leading. I mean, this is starting to remind me of like a Nick Saban. You're leading by almost 30 points. Someone puts 1 foot wrong, and all of a sudden it's a timeout, and everyone's getting screamed at. Now they got to run tomorrow. Somebody probably put 1 foot the wrong way, and now everybody's got to run 10 sets of lines tomorrow because they're up by almost 30 points. And that's just Coach Oaks, man. I've known him my whole life. He wants to win. He's a fired-up personality. He's super competitive, but phenomenally respectful, and he is down there just yelling at his team. You'd think they're down by 5 points in the state championship right now.
But Joe City's come out really well. They've come out composed. They've come out kind of rejuvenated, and they've come out and they've made some good plays, extra passes, easy shots. And when you go from the first half to the second half, you got to remember the first half's over. It's all done, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can only focus on the next 16 minutes of basketball, and you can. The first 3 minutes of the third quarter are so important. Either you're going to bury a team or you're going to let them back in the game, and that's what Coach Oaks does not want to happen. He doesn't want to go down to the buzzer with these boys.
No.
He wants to put them away right now and put them away early.
Put them away right now. So a huge thank you again to our officials out there, Ted Watson, Terry Jones, and Jared Toticini for officiating this game, doing a great job. And I think that Daryl House, I've got to get that right. I think Daryl House came in to officiate on this second half. Maybe he was here the whole game. So thank you to him as well. Nice job there by Kel Stewart with the drive outside. Draws the foul.
I really like that the high school level has gone to a 3 official layout.
It's really nice, isn't it? You can just see so much more.
Yeah.
Not a lot's missed. I mean, these refs are great. They've been doing it forever. They're great officials to start out with. But, yeah, they're doing a great job underneath. I thought he fouled him around the arm, but no call.
I think if he would have went up there just a little bit more controlled, he would have been able to get the foul there.
Brady Overson gets it. Kel Stewart almost gets the block. The Matrix bringing the ball back up the floor right here.
Great running the floor by Brady Overson. Getting himself in position.
Over the top. Almost gets it again. So St. Johns is going to keep the ball as we start this second half. I want to give a big thank you. Thank you to Caleb. This is our camera crew. This is our setup crew. These are our sound guys. If you are enjoying this game, when I say their names, please give them a little shout out. The universe is going to feel it. They're going to feel it. Give them some love. That's Caleb Hanna, Caden Castleberry, and Carter Stringham. You can't work for us unless your name starts with a C. Caleb, Caden, and Carter, man. Those 3 are making it happen tonight. They're running the cameras, the sound system. And, of course, look at that.
Great
Such a
pass.
Great give and go right there. Justice, Burt, Cale, Stewart. Look at that. Man, that was nice. Just feeding back and forth, and Kel Stewart finishes it right there. Did a really good job. Thank you to Caleb Hanna, Caden Castleberry, and Carter Stringham for what they're doing. The guy flying the ship tonight, though, in the space shuttle, Victor Chavez, put it all together. I say it every time, but it looks like we're in a huge airplane with all these switchboards up here and lights and dials and everything. So I want to see how they call that. Is that a blocking foul?
It is a blocking foul.
He wasn't set.
He wasn't set. His body was already starting to lean back.
Starting to lean, huh?
He didn't establish his ground. And it's frustrating because he hustled to the spot, and that's what he wanted to do. But he's just, again, a half a second late. That's a good call of the official.
You know, it is, and I want to say this about number 15, Joseph Bushman. I don't want to get anybody mad. Don't email me. Don't text me. Don't get mad. But he may be the toughest kid on the team. Joseph Bushman is a hustling, tough kid, man. I've watched him last year and this year, and he's just super, super tough. Hey, go back and take a photo of that because you don't see it very often. That ball got through Brady Overson's hands.
It does happen.
You won't see it very often, so if you want to see it, go back, rewind the tape, and watch that. Because that guy holds on to stuff like glue, so very rare. Very rare. And so he comes back and gets the steal to make up for it. Good job right there.
Way to hustle back to your ball. I think another thing that Joe City can do is I've seen that they're telegraphing their passes, but more importantly, they're trying to throw through the defender's hands.
Yeah.
And that never works out for you. You got to, if you're gonna go low, you want to fake high and go low and get. He wanted to go to the middle right there, but he tried to throw it through the defender's hands.
And when you get up to this level, this varsity level, you're not throwing it through people's hands.
Not very
often.
No.
It's not going to work. Nice move by Justice Burt on the baseline, and Brady Overson, of course, finishes right there. You see that?
Yeah, sure did.
A beautiful baseline drive by Justice Burt. Couldn't quite finish it, and Brady Overson sees the angle, and he's right there to scoop it up. Brady had 20 points just in the front. Here comes Kel Stewart up the middle. He's going to kick it to the Matrix, who goes up on the left side, gets it in on a little spin flip. No rotation on the ball, and it just goes in. frozen in time. Of course, the Matrix comes up with the ball, throws it over his head to Kel Stewart. I hope 23's okay. I hope he's okay. Oh, he's all right. I thought he hurt his elbow pretty bad right there for Joe City, but it looks like he's okay.
Number 12's going to foul out. It's unfortunate. Only 3 minutes in the left.
Gosh, I did not want to
go into the third quarter.
He's a good player too.
He's a hustler.
Carter Lamb. So that's the reason I like him. He's a 6-foot junior because he hustles. He's out there putting it all on the floor. He fouls out, unfortunately. Hate to see him leave the game. Number 30 comes in to take his place. That's Travis Wilson, who's a 5'10 senior for these Wildcats. So Coach Oaks choosing to leave his starting 5. And the Matrix, of course, he knows where it's going to go. Get it to me, I'm here. Puts 2 more down, 60-27. So the Redskins are up right now by 33. And I think we're going to have a timeout by the Wildcats, right? Is it a full timeout? Looks like you may have run a full timeout on there. So we got a few seconds to talk real quick. I want to thank the Loft. Victor Chavez, as I mentioned earlier, is flying this space shuttle wherever we go. He's running the switches, the knobs, all of it, delivering everything. He runs the switcher, changes back and forth between all these different camera angles, makes everything happen. So a huge shout out to Victor Chavez for what he does for the Loft, making this happen. Of course, Judge Mike Latham and his chief deputy, the director of probation, Paul Hancock, they've invested all the time and effort into this equipment, into the kids. They built the Loft. They're building the Lodge right now in Round Valley. They're amazing facilities. If you haven't seen them, get a hold of them. Ask them to go tour it. They put some really, really neat things together for the youth in this community, making it happen. So big shout out to them. 3 of those youth, just by the way, if you don't have a C, don't apply with us if your name is not Caleb, if it's not Carter, if it's not Caden. Those are the 3 guys helping us tonight. So if your name starts with a C, send an application. If it doesn't, just enjoy the game on the YouTube channel. Teen Legacy Productions, that's where we're at. So anyways, we're going to get ready to start. 4:44 to go here in the third period. St. Johns is up by 33 points. I was thinking maybe we would see some folks come in off the bench, but I think Coach wants to get them some game time, get them in game shape, maybe. But that's what we've got going on here. Kel Stewart with a good defensive play right there, and he's going to call it carrying.
No, they call him backcourt. So Joe City got mixed up. They thought they were going all the way down to the So Joe City called a timeout when they had the basketball.
Yeah.
It should have been going that way.
Right.
The ball should have been taken out up here by the half-court line.
That's what I thought. So they took it out the wrong spot.
So they took it out the wrong spot. So that's, in my opinion, that's on the official. Should have been taken up in between the 10-foot line and the half-court line.
Yeah, so Joe City should actually get the ball back.
In my opinion, yes, they should.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, well, that's why we don't officiate.
That's exactly why we don't officiate.
So there's number 2, giving it back to the Matrix. The Matrix is looking. And he's going to try to get it underneath. He drives. The Matrix, of course, he scores. The Matrix just having a smooth game tonight. I think he's got 5 steals so far. 15 points, having a great game. Kel Stewart, look how athletic Kel Stewart is. I guess they're going to call,
I have watched Kel Stewart a number of times. He has kind of slapped at the ball. He's got away with it a couple times, but that time the ref decided to finally call it. You're down by, 35 points? Yeah.
So I guess, it's okay if you call a couple fouls. Just try to get things kind of balanced back out a little bit. So number 22 for the Wildcats, that's Tyler Penrod. He's a 6'2 junior into the game, handling the ball. He's going to kick it back over and try to drive. Give us a rundown on the defense you're seeing from St. Johns right now.
They're just sticking in like almost a 2-3 extended, maybe a 3-2. It's hard to see because they're moving around so much.
Right.
They're doing a really great job at attacking the ball, and so it's hard to see what defense they're in.
It's almost like a sag zone. Like they sag, and then who's ever there, they just zone into it. That was nice hands by Joe City right there. Kel Stewart going to get it back. Nope, going to the Matrix. Gets it to Brady. Little give and go. Little Stockton to Malone. Kel Stewart with the ball. They're going to call him for timeout, right?
Oh, I'm not sure they could have done it. I didn't seem to have possession of the ball.
Gosh, that was a good call, though. Good timeout by Coach Oaks to try to get that possession. Smart coach right there on the sideline. Coach Oaks gives that quick timeout because he knows his player's going to try to get back up. I thought he was going to get called for traveling. Apparently they gave him possession and he's got the ball back. Nice job there by Coach Oaks to see that and get up there and slap that timeout down. And it looks like we're going to have continuing on with the starting 5 as we come out of this, that short 30-second timeout. And let's see if Joe City's going to come back out with the same 5. I think they will.
It looks like they might be going to a man.
Maybe they're going to try that here real quick.
Oh, yeah, they're going to a man defense. You know, this is my dad's favorite defense right here is a man-to-man defense. He says this separates the boys and the men, so let's see how Joe City handles this.
It's going to separate if people are in shape with that mask on.
Exactly. Look at there. Got a turnover, maybe working for him.
Got a turnover, and 23 is going to try to score, and he does score. Nice
Nice
job there by Bryce Bushman, the 6'1 sophomore from Joe City. I think, I didn't check this for the game completely, but I think that's Joseph Bushman's cousin from Joe City. I think we got cousins playing against each other on the floor.
Great hustle by number 21.
That really was. Number 21, that's Bannon Johnston. He's a 6'2 sophomore for the Wildcats. Nice slap to get the ball. Almost got it, too. All right, Justice Bird getting a little more aggressive with his pass. Oh, Kel Stewart from the baseline.
Great move.
Man, that's
There's Brady Overson going with the offensive rebound.
Of course, there's Brady Overson. He's got a face mask on, looks like a skeleton, looks like the Grim Reaper. He's just reaping rebounds. Just causing the death of them. Nice passer to Justice Burke, who does a great job off the glass. Never puts the ball down on the floor, just keeps up top, takes that one step, and lays that. Does very, very coordinated. Good pass there as well. Really nice offense. And look at Brady Overson. Bounce it, steal the ball. Here comes the Matrix with the no-look. With the no-look to Justice Burt, who just all of a sudden scores 4 points in 13 seconds. And the Matrix is looking for another steal. He's stingy.
There you go.
He's never happy enough on the steals. This is a nice shot there underneath by number 20.
Right
20 didn't give us a salute like last time. Avery Buckley gave us a salute on the last go, but the 6'2 man keeps his hand down because he's busy playing defense on Big Brady Overson and Justice Burke. Here comes Big Brady again underneath.
Great block by number 34.
That really was a good block, wasn't it? Nice defense. Didn't body foul him. Didn't get the body foul him. Just a nice block right there. So good job by number 34.
Oh,
wow.
Almost shot the bank.
You got to call it.
It's true.
If it's going to count. And you want to see him pick that up off the deal. There goes the Matrix. The Matrix has almost got 20 points coming in here right now. 68-33. 35-point lead for the Redskins as they keep the pressure on Joe City. And you're going to see, oh, there it is again. You know, you think it looks easy. You're saying to yourself, that's easy, I could do that. No, you can't.
No,
you can't. No one's done that. The Matrix does that. You can't see things that are going to happen in the future. That's prophetic. The Matrix is out there. He knows when the ball's going to go. It's almost illegal, but they let him do it. I think he's got 7 steals on the game. I figured he had at least that many. And there he goes. He goes out with 7 steals. In comes number 10. Case Heap, the 5'9 junior for St. Johns, comes in to take the place of the Matrix. The Matrix goes to sit down. Great job, Preston Wilson, number 24 tonight. Wonderful job with the mask on. He's the only one that has a medical mask on. Looks like he's operating like a doctor. Into 34. That's a nice move off the top. But Brady Overson with good defense and gets the rebound after the nice defense.
We got a great inside pass by Brady going down to Kel Merrill. Easy finish for the 2. I appreciate the man-to-man defense that Joe City's come out. It's actually worked pretty well for them, but St. Johns has done such a great job of setting all the picks and around that it's opening up so many lanes for them.
So Kel Stewart with that nice basket underneath. Kel Stewart's quietly having a great game. Steals, beautiful passes. I think he's up over 10 points now. So let's watch number 10, Case Heap, as he comes into the game. The 5'8 junior. Justice Burke's going to get fouled. Tries to shoot, doesn't get it. He was going to give him the shot on the continuation, it looked like, but it didn't drop.
It sounds like looks like it was on the ground.
That's what I thought, too.
No, he did. He called it on the ground. They're going to take the ball underneath.
So there you go. It's going to go underneath. Who's taking that out? Joe Bushman. Joe Bushman taking it out. Gets it to Big Brady Overson. Going up against number 20. And the 6'7 tries to come over and block him, but he can't do it. And
got the ball high above his head. Was able to go right over the top of him.
Brady's going up over, I think, 30 points right now. Both of Joe City's big men tried to get over there and stop it, and he just picked up that foot and drug it. So they're going to call that on Jaron Miller. Goes back over to St. John's.
You know, Joe City's actually come out and responded really well for going that far down in the first half. They've actually come out cool, calm and collected. They haven't come out sporadic and started making frustrations foul just yet. I think that goes to show the poise of this team and what it can become, and it shows the poise of that coach to be able to keep him calm in these intense situations. Let's see what they do with the last 9 seconds of the basketball game. A steal.
Ooh, Justice Bushman.
Fast break. Got a 4-on-1.
Right there to Kel Stewart.
Oh, no, he missed it. Got offense. We got to shoot.
Got to shoot, son.
Oh, man, just missed it.
Just missed it. Would have put him up 74. So 72-33 ends the third period. The St. Johns Redskins with a handy lead over the Joseph City Wildcats. Both teams have 3 fouls here in this second half. We did have a foul out. Number 12, Carter Lamsa fouled out. He is the 5'11 junior for the Joe City Wildcats. He fouled out. That's unfortunate to see. He was having a great game, doing a really good job. As we talked about earlier with these Redskins, you've got multiple.
I don't know if you guys can see the scoreboard at home, but currently it is 72 St. Johns, 33 Joseph City.
And we can start shouting that out. That's not a problem. I can do that every minute. No problem whatsoever. 72-33, Redskins up by a lot. I don't know if you can see the shot down there, but you've got Coach Oakes talking to his players like it's a last-second shot to win the game. He's always coaching intense. He's always working super hard at trying to make sure he's coaching every player down to his last man. He's down there talking to freshmen right now, talking to his sophomores, talking to his second and third-string players about what they need to do, where they need to be on the floor, who's shooting, who's running what offense. So big shout-out to Coach Oakes on this nice win as he's got this going right here.
And we apologize. It looks like we might be running into some little bit of a technical difficulties as we're trying to show you guys the scoreboard, and it doesn't seem to be showing on your guys' end. So we're going to try to get that figured out. We'll try to keep you guys updated on the score as best as we can.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep you updated. Right now, you just need to know it's a whole bunch for St. John's and not a whole lot for Joe City.
That's a great up and under move. Great power move by 32.
Oh, and it gets blocked again by 23. Mr. Jarvis with 2 blocks right out of the gate. 72 for the Redskins, 33 for the Joe City Wildcats. There's 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this fourth and final period. And Brady Overson gets the rebound.
But because 2 St. John's players had the ball at the same time in possession, it's an automatic travel.
Yep. Brady Overson, Hunter Jarvis came down with the ball, and 4 feet on the floor, as we used to say. So kicks back out. Joe City loses over in the corner, so the ball's going to go to the Redskins with. Let me give you who's on the floor right now, just in case you don't know. They've got face masks on, or other masks as well. So 15, Joseph Bushman. Number 10 is Case Heap on the floor. 20, of course, is big Brady Overson. And number 2, the Law, Justice Burt, the Law. And then, of course, you got number 10. Oh, I thought he was going to get that shot right there. And then, of course,
great
you got
offensive rebound.
Really was nice. 23 is Mr. Jarvis out there right now, Hunter Jarvis. So that's your St. John's Redskins on the floor.
Look at Brady Overson out there still hustling. Fourth quarter, 6:45 left to go. And he's still hustling. That's the first minute of the first quarter. Love to see it.
Like he hasn't scored a point yet. Yeah, he's out there to play. He's out there to work hard. 21's in the game now for the St. John's Redskins. Parker Humphreys. He's a 6'1 senior. And that is a nice defensive job right there. Springs is back in the game, number 11, Braden Wall. He's a 6'1 sophomore. Springs is in the game. So that's who's on the floor right now for the Redskins. You got to shoot up and over the top of Brady Overson.
That's just so hard to do.
It just doesn't fall. When you're 5'3 or 5'4 and you got to shoot over someone like that, it's just a long ways up. But, good job shooting, keeping the ball rolling here. So Mr. Heat bringing it down, kicks it back over to Springs, who kicks it over to number 21 with a shot from the outside. Parker Humphreys.
Deep, too, but great shot.
Got it. He got it. Nice job there, the 6'1 senior. And number 20, and the block. Jarvis says, get that out of my house. Springs brings it down with a nice pass over to Mr. Heap, who almost gets it under. Springs takes another shot off the glass.
Ooh, almost a bank shot.
I like the glass.
You don't see that very often. It's great to see it. Oh, no.
That's old school for real right there.
So it's important to note I've gone to a running clock. They have not made a mistake. The running clock is because they have such a large lead. I think the rule is over 40 points, I think is the rule, or 30 in the fourth quarter. So we just go to a running clock.
So we're on a running clock. It looks like Coach Coach Oakes is going to put number 5. Good job. Brady Overson comes out, number 20. Of course, he had a big double-double tonight. And in comes Mr. Cox, number 5. Looks like he's going to come
up
in.
and under move with the pump fake.
Oh,
22 the offensive rebound.
I thought he's almost going to score right there.
What's going on here?
They calling it on 23. Oh, they called that on 14. Number 14 for the Joseph City Wildcats.
I don't know what happened there.
It's Mr. Billy. They called him for a foul on the arm. It looks like he's a 5'8 senior out there, so he gets called for a foul, and that puts number 23, Hunter Jarvis, the 6'4 junior, on the line, just long off the back of the rim. Sprint.
I think one thing that St. Johns needs to do after this game, as more of it as an individual thing, is they need to go back and look at this film. These big large wins that they had tonight, sometimes you get kind of lax on them, and it's important for a player to go back and look at the film and see where they messed up and see where they may have gone wrong. We got a fast break opportunity right here. We got number 22 with a nice block.
Number 22.
Got a scrambling situation. Looks like it's going to turn into a jump ball.
Tyler Penrod with the block turns into a jump ball with number 21, Parker Humphreys, on the ground doing a great job hustling there. Parker gets the jump ball. Arrow goes to Joe City. So with that running clock you were talking about, we got 3 minutes and 23 seconds to go. St. John's is 74. The Joseph City Wildcats are 33. Doing the math, doing some quick math for you.
St. John's
41
coming out in a 3-2 defense.
They're kind of staying in that. Those cross-court passes are pretty tough, especially on a zone. So St. John's is up 74-33. You do the math on that, that's actually 41 points. The running clock is now at 2:55. And on the floor for St. John's is number 10. That's Case Heap. Number 23, that, of course, is Hunter Jarvis. You got number 21, Parker Humphreys. Number 3 is now on that's Charlie Humphreys, his younger brother. He's out there, so we got the bros playing together. That is awesome.
Nice.
It was a nice shot, wasn't
it? Parker Humphreys.
Nice Parker Humphreys just puts it down right over the top. He's got his brother out there playing with him, Charlie, and they're just doing a great job.
Great offensive rebound and going to go up strong. Going back to my earlier point, these boys, it would be good for them to go back and watch this film. I think it's great that we have this on YouTube, so able to so easily access it on your phone, on your laptop, whatever. These boys can go back and benefit from actually go back and watch this. These large point victories, sometimes things can slip in between the cracks, and you'll actually learn a lot from these games where you sometimes get lax. Or maybe some things becomes more exposed because maybe one of your weaknesses because you're not paying attention to it during the game. So these boys could really benefit from right now, at least in my personal experience, is going back and watching these blowout games like this in order to learn from their mistakes.
I don't know. Coach Oakes will get them in there. They review film. They'll start reviewing the film and watching that. He'll break the film down for them, and then they'll break it down by position. They'll take. We actually have this new video system that's here in the gym. We didn't get a chance to talk about it earlier, but I should talk about it now. It's actually a video system here in the gym that records everything. It goes online. It breaks down the stats, shows the positions of everybody. It'll show the plays for each player during the game. It's actually a really neat system that the school's invested in for the players. So they'll get in there and they'll watch that, and everybody gets a chance. Now into the games come number 33 for the St. Johns Redskins. And it's doing a great job. It's a nice pass, too, by the way. Number 4 gets the rebound, gets blocked, but he goes back up again.
That's out of bounds.
And that's Jay Wall. Jay Wall almost got that shot, almost got it in there. I think he's saying it hit the support up top of the strap, which is part of it, so it's out of bounds automatically. So here we go. Number 20 is trying to get it off, and number 14 is going to get a shot off here, hopefully in a second for Joe City. He's too far back out.
Nice shot by number 21.
21, that's Bannon Johnston. The 6'2 sophomore puts another three-pointer down, brings Joe City 36-77. So St. John's is 77. Joe City is 37. So St. John's has got a 40-point lead right now with 30 seconds to go here in this fourth period. Each team has 4 fouls. Coach Rusty Oakes is going to take this away. Let me tell you, tomorrow night we've got another game here. The Redskins come back tomorrow night. The Redskins have got another great game here. They're going to be playing, I believe, they're playing Holbrook tomorrow night, but let me make sure for you. Regardless, come back tomorrow night.
Off the backboard.
because they're going to be here. It's going to be a good game. And we are, it is Holbrook. So play Holbrook here tomorrow night. Holbrook's got a good team. St. John's is going to be coming off a big win. They're going to be up, but they're going to be tired. They got the face masks on like everybody does. Holbrook's coming over here tomorrow night. The game starts at 7:30, so if you want to watch St. John's and Holbrook, tune in. Teen Legacy Productions. Thanks to everybody who made this happen. Caleb Hanna, Caden Castleberry, and Carter Stringham. The 3 C's are here. And then, of course, we got Victor Chavez. Made all this happen with the switchers, with the cameras, the cables, all of it, the microphones. Huge shout-out to him, to Judge Mike Latham and Mr. Paul Hancock for putting this all together, having the vision, creating the loft and the lodge. And how about that? We got the salute again.
Last-second salute. We love to see it.
Avery Buckley with the big 3-pointer.
Almost a half-court shot. Love to see it.
Be nice to see that go down. So the game ends, and it's 37. And I'm going to give you a quick recap on our points. It looks like Preston Wilson goes up. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. He's got 20. And Brady Overson has at least 24. So that's a great job by him. Braden Wall Springs has 9. Looks like Parker Humphrey's got 4. That's a great job right there. Afton Cox with 2. Justice Burt comes away with 6 points. So good job for him. Hunter Jarvis hits that foul shot. And that leaves us with 77 points. Thank you to Chantel Perry for keeping all of our stats and making it happen. We'll be back here again tomorrow night. Great game for the Redskins, a great win. Tomorrow night, 7:30. Join us at 6 o'clock if you want to see the girls' game, as both our boys and girls take on the Roadrunners of Holbrook tomorrow night. Girls' game starts at 6. Boys' game's at 7:30. Thank you for watching the production. Thank you to Dayton Waite for sitting here and announcing with us. Drive home safe. Everybody take care, and God bless.